So this solves a pretty critical problem for me of not being able to sync gear in tempo. I have a couple other pieces of equipment. The Mother 32 you can see right beneath the DFAM that has a little MIDI input. So there are other ways to sync, but this is working the best for me so far. I like the control that I have over it. I have the CV signal that's coming out through the interface. I can send it back in. I can send the audio back through, and it gives me really granular control on a piece of gear that does not have a MIDI input. So that's a practical use. Another thing that I really like to use CV tools for is to control things with gear. So what I mean by that is any of these inputs, I could buy a couple modules for an LFO, but they take up space, and space in your Eurorack is precious. They take up power, also precious, and they're really expensive. And so one of the amazing things that CV Tools does is allow me to come here into the CV modulation, and I can pick an LFO, drop it on. That was free. Oh, and I am not even showing you my screen. Let's do that again. I got a HDMI switcher, and I'm really excited about all the camera angles that I have, but have to make sure I'm on top of it here too. So once more, packs, CV tools, CV modulation, and I'm going to drop this LFO right down here. And then similar, oh, we'll let this load. There we go. I can select my CV output and pick another one of these. Let's go with 5. And switching back to my view here, now we can see the LFO that's represented on this LED. That's just kind of a nice visual indicator, especially once you are figuring out how CV works. And an LFO is pretty straightforward. We've got a steady sine wave here, but if we start adding a jitter or you're drawing in your own shapes, it's not necessarily as easy to tell what that's going to be doing. So that light's a handy little guide. Now here I have sampled in, this is a scooper. It is a scatter looper. It's made by Roland. And so I've loaded in a sample here. All right, so now that we can hear that, it's playing through the scooper into this next module, the bit raiser. This is bypassed right now, and the audio is coming back into the ES8 interface. On the left side, I have the inputs here, and the right side is outputs. So this is just the sample as it was recorded. I can turn on scatter. If anyone's played with a TR8 before, Roland started adding the scatter functionality into some of their IRA line, and we'll turn it on. And then I have different scatter types. It's kind of a beat shuffler. Yeah, let's just listen. So I'm turning up the depth here. And then these are the different scatter types. Okay, so we can hear what that's doing. And I also have a pitch and a filter here. I have this blinking light from my CV LFO that is drawing my attention. I'm going to pull this signal out and patch it into the scatter type. We can see that this is influencing the signal here because this light is blinking, and we can also hear it. So let's do that again. Like I said, CV Tools LFO is free. Eurorack LFO, not so much. Let's duplicate this and get another one going. And this time I'll send it to output 6. Then we'll have a little fun with it here. So switching back here to the camera view, you can see that the signal's coming out. And this time, let's patch it into the pitch. Tight. So, record a little bit of this. And even though these are patched in, I can still move the knobs and influence them manually.